Hello everyone, this is Erik, the Asian movie enthusiast, and this is my review of Century of the Dragon, a Hong Kong crime drama from 1999 that stars Andy Lau, Louis Koo, and Anthony Wong. It was directed by Clarence Fok, who previously made films like Naked Killer and The Iceman Cometh. When Wong Chi-sing, played by Louis Koo, was training in the police academy, he achieved prominent grades, which prompts the superintendent to send him undercover before his graduation. After 5 years, Chi-sing finally gains the trust of the triad's most prominent leader, Fei-lung Gor, played by Andy Lau. Subsequently, Fei-lung disengages from the triads in an attempt to become a legitimate businessman, but when his sworn brother, Tong Pau, played by Anthony Wong, is arrested and hospitalized, he is drawn back into the underworld. So Century of the Dragon is one of those movies that flies completely under the radar. I rented it from one of those older DVD rental services that no longer exists. I think it was ehit.com. And I'm sure I decided to watch it solely because of the actors who are in it. This has a very strong cast. Andy Lau really kind of drives this movie for the most part, and his acting is very good here. I love the scene in particular where he meets the triad bosses to discuss new leadership options after Anthony Wong goes to the hospital. And one of the other characters in the room starts acting kind of slimy and manipulative. And Andy Lau's character feels that something is off, like he smells a rat here. And I really liked his acting in that scene in particular, because he doesn't oversell it. Yeah, he's very good in this one. Louis Koo is reliable, even this early in his career, when he was still pretty green. I mean, this was in the era of those Troublesome Night movies, where he made a handful of appearances in that horror franchise. But, one of his best earlier films was Bullets Over Summer, which I have a review of that one on this channel. So he definitely showed some sparks of talent early on, and he's always kind of a reliable actor, even when he's not at his best. Definitely another recommendation if you want some early Koo goodness is Bullets Over Summer, though, in addition to this one. And then Anthony Wong actually does not get a whole lot of screen time in this. He has more of a presence near the beginning, but then his character is kind of pushed to the background for much of the remaining runtime. The strength of this movie lies in not only the strong acting, but the well-established conflicts that involve two respectable protagonists who are unwillingly caught in the gangster power struggle. And we've seen these kinds of dilemmas before in movies, but they certainly help to establish sympathetic positions for our leads. I mean, Louis Koo's character wants to finish his undercover work, but his superiors refuse to let him, and he's romantically involved with an unstable club worker. And then Andy Lau's character is trying to go legit into respectable business practices, but he keeps getting dragged back into the underworld due to his loyalties to those who are still with the triads. And when you start watching this, you may think that this is kind of like a generic lightweight film, crime flick that you've seen a million times before. However, the crap gets real near the midpoint with a surprisingly violent death scene. And it's pretty shocking. Adds an edge that enhances the conflict, and I really think that, there are some good moments early on for sure, but it feels a little derivative early on, and then once the conflict really ramps up and you really start to dislike the bad guys, that's when it really kind of engages you, and the film gets stronger as it moves along. So, also, some of the supporting female characters, who sometimes in these gangster films are kind of just pushed to the side permanently, they proved to be more than just eye candy, and I'll just leave it at that. So I really kind of like the character work in this film, actually. The action elements and fights, they're nothing outstanding, really. They seem mediocre to an extent. There are a few set pieces and thrilling fights here and there, as well as a few violent deaths, as I previously mentioned. And machete attacks and gunfights are always welcome, even if they're not the best. So the set pieces in this are not great, but it is helpful that the drama is effective and the acting and the character work is good. because that enhances the action to become more engaging than it would have been otherwise, because you actually want some of these people to survive and you want the bad guys to really die. And the final half hour has a number of kind of higher tension confrontations that it satisfies. It does. I think Century of the Dragon is a surprisingly absorbing crime film that kind of surprised me back in the day. I knew the cast was going to be good, but I just I feel like this deserves a little bit more attention than it's gotten over the years. I recommend it. It is currently available on the Roku channel with a subscription and YouTube, although the subtitles on the YouTube version are severely mistimed and it's really distracting. So if neither of those films or neither of those options work for you, you may still be able to find a copy of the old DVD with English subs online. I think I may have seen a copy or two on Amazon or eBay. So it's one to check out. And as always, we will see you next time.